Billy D here. Hey, today we're going to have Danny Neville. He's the head coach at Jamestown of the Jamestown Jimmies. Danny will join us, talk about the run last year and what the fans in Jamestown, North Dakota can look forward to from the Jimmies this year. We'll be back in just one moment. Cascade Hoops, Billy D. Hey, happy to say I got Danny Neville here, head coach of Jamestown University. Welcome, Danny. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me back on, Bill. So it's nice to be talking about some hoops.
You had a pretty good season last year. Now, I should know this, but what is the deepest Jamestown has ever been in the tournament?
The deepest we've had, Brad Hughes coached back in the early 2000s, and they made the Branson trip, and I think they lost in the Elite Eight as well.
Okay, so it's a tie for the deepest ever in the tournament then. You lost 3 out of 4 games going into the tournament. How did you feel going into the tournament?
We felt good. I mean, it was one of those things where we were in a situation where we didn't know if we were going to make it or not. And then once we made it, we really wanted to, bank on that. And the thing about losing those games too is we lost to really good teams. We lost to Dakota Wesleyan, we lost to Northwestern a couple times. Those are tough, and a lot of those games were on the road. So, I didn't necessarily think that we were, sliding the wrong way. We got beat by good teams, and we were young and we adjusted. And, once we got that chance and we got that bid into the national tournament, we were rearing to go, and guys just had fun, and we got on a little roll and, tried figuring it out, and we lost to a really, really good Shawnee State team, and, just super proud of our guys.
So you get to the tournament, the game against Bellevue, I think you were the favorite. I think everybody expected that was, well, that's easy for us to say, right? But I think that wasn't a surprise that you won that game. But the next game against LSU Shreveport, they're a power team. They run, they score a lot of points. How did you feel going into that game? What did you see as the keys to beating them? They're a very good team.
Yeah, I just think the respect that we had for both programs. I mean, you look at their history, and those are two teams that, you look at national tournament appearances, they're two teams that seems like they're in there every year. And like I said, I think we preached a lot about, hey, it's a different season. Kind of like you said, I mean, we lost a lot of those games to end the year, but, we treated it as a new season. We actually did a lot of situational work prepping for the tournament. And I think that really helped us in a way where we figured out a lot of things, and we figured out what works at what time. We just played with a chip on our shoulder, and we took it one game at a time. And I think once we got past Bellevue, which was a tough team, they were a tough matchup for us. They were really athletic, and like I said, we used to be in that same league, so we have a lot of respect for them. But once we got past them, I think the momentum we just kind of rolled with it. And LSU Shreveport, we were ready for them. We were the guys were excited to play that game, and I thought our guys just played really well. And like I said, much respect for LSU Shreveport. They're a really good team and a really good program. But I think we just out-toughed both those teams, and we just had a really, really good mindset going in there.
I think the most impressive thing, I don't remember if you and I talked afterwards, but you out-rebounded Shreveport, and they had out-rebounded teams by an average, I think, 8 rebounds a game. And, you went in there and you out-rebounded both them and Faulkner. I think there were some question marks, how well would the GPAC stand up against those traditional D1 conferences? And I think that was, at least a lot of people I talked to, that was an eye-opener.
Yeah, and again, like, that's one of the furthest things from our minds. We're not comparing. We're just, and I know people do that, and that's their job. And, they create, some conversation by bringing those things up. But that's not in our mind. We're just trying to do what we could to win. And I really feel like our team clicked. They just all kind of settled into their roles. And like I said, it was just the right time where we kind of took off. And like I said, I mean, I was just super proud of them. I thought they played, especially like Mark Chose, our point guard, Mason Walters, some of those guys were sophomore, freshmen. I feel like they played like upperclassmen, and it's been cool to carry that over into the summer and also into the preseason, which just started. I feel like they've really taken a step in their growth with, not only leadership, but just getting better and more experience.
Well, yeah, you talked about a couple guys there, Danny. I think that everybody's going to, for a long time, talk about Mark Chose, his performance against Faulkner. I can't. He went 8 for 12, I think, from three. It was real eye opener. He had to be real proud of him that day. And then Mason Walters, he just seemed he even gave Onu, the best big man in the country, no doubt. He gave him everything he could handle. And Mason really did well on the national stage.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things too. Like, in our league, we predominantly have good big guys, and I think you think of Van Kalsbeek from Northwestern, and some of those other guys, the Morningside, Trey Brown, and so we're going against big fellas, and not only big fellas, but good big fellas, and I think he got used to how people guarding him. Some teams would throw a double, some teams would switch in front. And, against Northwestern, they put Van Kalsbeek on him. So I think he really grew just by getting challenged every night. And then, Mark Chose with that eight threes in that game. He's just one of those guys that has a green light, and from anywhere too. I've seen him shoot in practice and games. And if he's going to make shots, you just give him the green light. And they zoned us. We weren't really expecting that. I think they ran maybe 30 possessions of zone all year. And, they ran it that whole second half. So it was an adjustment for us, but give that kid the green light, and he's a 46% 3-point shooter. It's just fire away.
Yeah, and I definitely want to talk about all the guys you have coming back. Before we leave the tournament, though, on the other side of the ball, Shawnee State's Jaquil Wells. I mean, I know he was on the other side of the other bench over there, but wow, he was really impressive against you guys.
Shawnee State was just they were a different team. I mean, they had really good size, really good athleticism. Obviously their big guy Onu, and that James Jones, their guard. They just sprinkled guys off the bench too that were long athletes, and they didn't have much of a drop off when they subbed in, and they just kind of wore us out. And credit their coach and their program. I mean, they did a really, really good job this year and ended up winning. Much deserved for them. Like I said, after playing them, I have a ton of respect for that program.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a great year. You guys got nothing to hang your head about. Everybody in Jamestown, North Dakota, should be very, very proud of the Jimmy program, and I know they are. You have a couple of guys graduated, move on. Let's talk about them. Both these guys, the box score never tells the story. First guy's Jack Talley, 9 points and 4 rebounds, but that's not really the story with him, is it?
No, he's been a 4-year player, and he meant a lot to our program. And I think one of the things with him too is losing him. It allows, it's a loss for us, but it allows other guys to move into, different roles, like Will Cordis or Cole Woodford. They're able to kind of tweak their game and move into a more important role than they were maybe last year.
And then Brock Schrom, really important piece for you guys the last few years. He's moved on.
Yeah, that's a big loss. I mean, guys love Brock. He had a unique personality, but he just changed the game with how he could alter and block shots. And like I said, he was really good he was a good locker room guy, and much respect to him. And, he's a tough loss, but like I said, I mean, it allows other guys to put in a position where it's their turn, and let's see what they got.
So Danny, let's talk about who you have coming back. We got to start with the hometown boy there, Mason Walters. He's been around for a couple years. I think the jury has finally decided he's going to make it at this level. First team All-American. I mean, you and I've talked about him many times. I mean, what more can you say about him? 22 points a game, 60% from the field, rebounds everything that doesn't go in the hoop.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys too. Like, not only is he a good player, and I say this all the time, but not only is he a good player and a good rebounder, and obviously all the obvious stats, but he's just a good person. He's a good kid. Our guys like him. He's a humble kid, and he's got a great family, and he's a really good kid to have in your program. And obviously he's a really, really, really good player, and we're lucky to have him. But he puts in the work, he puts in the time, and guys really respect him. I mean, all summer long he's in the gym, and he still has a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to continue to work, and he's gotten bigger, stronger. He puts a lot of time in the weight room. So us talking about him, to me, it's no surprise. And that's just in a way where, if he's in the gym every day and working hard in weights, and he's a great teammate, he's going to put himself in a really good situation. Like I said, I can't say enough about Mason.
You have quite a Minnesota connection there, and you have you mentioned Mark Chose a minute ago. He's from Lake City, Minnesota. He shot 46% from three last year. Talk about how important he's going to be to this year's team.
Yeah, he's a kid that's a redshirt he's a redshirt junior this year, and he had a huge summer, and it's one of those things where you're taking a point guard who's played for 2 years as a sophomore, and then with the experience he got this whole year, and then the national tournament run we went on, I feel like he just grew, and he grew fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously having a really good summer, he's picked up more leadership skills, and just his feel for the game has it's one of those things where it feels like the game has slowed up for him. The game has slowed down a lot. He's very aware of his surround. Like he took a big step in my opinion, in being a point guard. And like you said, I mean, his shooting ability, he's gotten quicker this summer. So we're really excited about Mark, and we think he'll be a great leader and a great point guard for us.
And Danny, I just want to continue with your Minnesota connection here. One of my favorite Jimmys, Brady Birch, blue collar guy, 5.5 points, 4.5 rebounds. But he just does whatever needs done, doesn't he?
We say that he's one of the smartest big guys we've ever seen. And I always tell our big guys, and, that's saying a lot. So, but, he's just one of those guys. He does everything that, he picks up the slack. He's taking charges. He's always that guy that, last 3 minutes of the game and it's a tight game, he's always in because he's making winning plays. And I would say he's our best leader. He's pretty vocal, and he can pretty much say whatever he wants to the team. He's got all their respect, and he's just a seasoned vet, and he's taken a leap and getting his body in shape, and just being fresh and ready to go for this season. But we're lucky to have him back, and I'm very excited for his, what would this be, second senior year, his extra year of eligibility. So he's a good piece to our team.
And then from again, continuing with your Minnesota guys, I'm not sure how you pronounce his hometown. Shakopee? Will Cordes?
Yeah,
Shakopee? I probably make a lot of people in Minnesota mad for that pronunciation.
Yeah, he's a guy that he's literally in the gym 3 to 4 hours a day. I'll come in here when my kids go to sleep, and come grab my computer or come get some extra work in, and Will Cordes is in here shooting. He's one of those guys where losing Talley, losing a wing guy, he needs to take a step forward and be more confident, believe in himself, and maybe take a bigger role. And great shooter, great scorer. And I mean, to us, he's an underrated defender. Having, one of the good things about Mark and Will is they're really good shooters, and they're just smart players, but they're also good defensively. Mm-hmm. They stay in front. They're just, we put those two on the opposing team's best players.
And that's in the GPAC, that is a tough duty right there.
Yes,
one other thing about Will Cordes, I know you know this, Coach, but his assist to turnover ratio is almost 2-1.
Yeah, and Chose's is similar.
Okay.
Chose's is really.
I like a guy who can handle the ball and not turn it over. That's the difference between young guards and seasoned guards, right? I always judge how much I trust the point guard by how nervous I get toward the end of the game when they bring the ball up the court.
Yep.
And then one other guy from Redwood Falls, Minnesota, Cole Woodford, another guard.
Yeah, he has a lot of upside. He's gotten a lot stronger this summer, and we've worked on his right hand a little bit. Those lefties love that left hand.
Yep.
But he just needs to take a step in his belief in himself and his confidence. And he's got a very high ceiling. He's athletic. Does some things that maybe those other guards can't really do. He's got to take a step in that belief and go out there and just play the way that he can play, and he'd be a fantastic player.
So, Danny, I could be wrong here because we'll talk about the guys you're bringing in a minute, but it looks like you're going to be just a little bit smaller this year.
At the guard spot, maybe a little bit, but we have Devin Praska off the bench, 6'5" returner, and then Devin Schultz will get some time. He's a big 6'11", 260 guy. And then we also have a newcomer, John Argue, who's 6'8" and long. So we might be a little bit smaller at the guard spot, but at the 4 and 5, we'll be pretty big.
Yeah, I forgot about Schultz. He actually gave you some pretty good minutes last year. I forgot about he's 6'11".
Yeah, he had a really good summer too, and he's slimmed down a lot, and he looks really good. He looks really good. He's in shape. This is the best he's looked in his whole career. So he's been a guy that's consistently been in the gym, and it's really benefited him. And so we're looking for definitely some more out of Schultz this year. We're excited about him.
So you mentioned these transfers, but why don't you talk just a little bit more about John Agu? Is it Agu or Argue?
Yep.
Argue. He's out of Houston, played at Laterno, 6'8" guy. What are you expecting out of him?
Yeah, he's a guy he's really skilled. So he's about 195. So he's not a big guy. He's not gonna bang. He's more of a guy that's he's pretty good from 15 feet. He's fast. He's smart. He can catch. He's got a 6'10" and a half wingspan. So
wow.
He's a longer kid that's a good finisher, and we're looking for him to kind of be that shot blocker and put some thought into that. But he's just a guy he's a lot more skilled than our other fives. He can shoot from threes, but he was here this summer and he's taken some steps. He's just got to get accustomed to everything, our offense and what we do. And, we're looking for some things out of him as well.
And you had another guy, this Louis Schumacher. He's out of Linton, North Dakota. First team All-State, 6'3" guard. I mean, on paper at least, he looks like he has a lot of upside.
Yeah, he's a guy that he could have played football at a Division I school, and he decided he wanted to play basketball, and he's actually comes from the same high school as John Purinton, who played for us, and he was a senior in 18-19 that team. This kid is stronger, bigger, and he's just more athletic than John was as a freshman. So we're looking for big things, and he's just got to continue to get better and get used to the college pace and the college game. But we're looking for some things out of him, and maybe not this year, but definitely in the future. And who knows with him, he could be a guy that ends up in our rotation somehow.
And then local fans will recognize the name Brooks Carroll as well, another Jamestown guy.
Yeah, he's long. I mean, he's 6'3" kid from Jamestown, and really, really shoots it. If he gets a catch and shoot, you might as well just run back, because that thing's going in. And he's just got to get quicker on the feet, and he's got to guard a little bit better and have some more to him other than shooting. But we measure wingspans and reach, and we do all that stuff preseason. And he's 6'3", but has a 6'8" wingspan. So some of those guys can get away with maybe not having the quickest feet and just using your length. So we're working on things like that, but a kid that can really, really stretch the floor.
And Danny, there was another name that we talked about. I didn't recognize the name is Tyler McGillis. I think he's coming off red shirt.
Kyler McGillis.
McGillis.
He was a transfer last year. He came from Bismarck State College. He just had to get used to our structure and what we do. And he's taken a big step in his redshirt year last year. And then obviously staying this summer, he got a lot better, and he's just a dynamic scorer. He's one guy, if he gets going, he's going. He'll be another scoring option for us off the bench.
And I apologize to Kyler. It's Kyler McGillis.
Yes,
He's
Kyler. Yep.
he's out of St. John, North Dakota.
Yep.
Your North Dakota Minnesota connection is alive and well. It looks like you've been able to shore up at the 4-5. I mean, obviously you have Mason to anchor that, and then it looks again on paper like you should have a very good shooting team. How do you feel about the team? I mean, you haven't even practiced yet, but how do you feel going into September here?
We feel good. I mean, it's early. Last year we were playing in March, so
Yeah.
our guys stay here all summer. So it's kind of that thing where you don't necessarily want to kill them now, but you also don't want to be soft on them. So we've taken an approach where we're gonna maybe shorten up times with what we do and stuff like that. But any workout we have, we're gonna go hard. And I think we have a really good group of guys. They're good listeners and they're just good teammates. So like you said, we have a chance to be good. But for us, it's that saying where you go back to picking rocks. So we're back to picking rocks. Last year was last year. The run was fun. It's great. We have a lot of returners. That's all awesome. But you got to concentrate on the process and go back to picking rocks. And this is a new season, and we're looking to get better and maybe take another step. I don't know what that step is, but right now we're just concentrating on getting better every day.
Danny, you coach there in Jamestown. You've been there a few years now. You have a brand new, beautiful arena, Newman Arena. You have a unbelievably fantastic fan base. I mean, just talk about your experience and what it's like to coach there at Jamestown.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the facilities, and I think the biggest thing at Jamestown is the people. We just have really good people to work with, great coaches, great community, great administration. I just think it's a good place to be, and my wife is a Catholic school teacher in town, so both of my kids go there as well. So, it's just a good community, and I started here as an assistant and, worked my way into head coach, and I have a lot of pride in this town and this program, and it's definitely developed me as a coach and gotten me better. And I think another thing too is joining the GPAC. I think it's made everyone better, including myself. You think about some of the programs in the league, some of the coaches, sometimes I catch myself looking down at the other bench, and it's Chris Corver, Coach Wilbur, or any of those guys, VH. Like, I'm looking down and thinking, man, what am I doing? This is a crazy league. And so I'm honored to be the coach here at Jamestown, and I'm honored to be in the GPAC with such a, historic league. And it's fun to be able to battle some of those good teams and good programs night in, night out.
Well, Danny, I can tell you right now, I can't wait till basketball starts. I think the whole world is feeling like that right now. Last season, Danny, the first season in my entire life, and I'm an old guy, but first season of my entire life, I didn't get to go to a basketball game. So
that must have been a tough year.
It was horrible, and so I'm really looking forward.
We're not doing it again.
Yeah, we're not going to do that again. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll definitely get you back on after things get going. Be fun to talk Jimmy basketball, GPAC basketball. But I always appreciate getting you on here. I respect the Jimmy program, and I think the fans there they're lucky to have you guys in town. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate what you do for us too, especially at the NAI level. I think you highlight us in a positive way, and I think it's good to have you.
Then I appreciate that. NAI basketball is the best entertainment value in America, and everybody needs to understand that. Where else I don't know what you charge for general admission, $12, $10. I mean, where else can you? And a lot of these games, you guys do double headers, right?
Yeah, women and men. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know where else you get that for whatever it is, $10 or whatever to get in. So
for sure.
And it's great basketball, some of the best basketball in America. Well, Danny, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. I look forward to Jimmy basketball, and we'll talk during the season.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.